I don't know. No, sorry.
Allowing us to bring them in unless they have ¿Ya oyeron? No se tienen que ir porque los engañados se me va a policía. Do you need me?
No.
Oh, okay, I thought you needed me. Los engañados fueron ustedes. A ustedes los trajeron aquí. Muchos de ustedes estuvieron aquí el año pasado. Tenían permiso, tenían visa. Entonces, a ustedes lo que les beneficia es de que ellos se trajeron para acá. Si ellos no se les han entregado a ustedes, los engañados fueron ustedes. No vinieron a trabajar. Ustedes entraron a Estados Unidos legalmente.
These two ladies are contracted bus drivers for however you pronounce that farm in Sumas. 60 individuals yesterday refused to work and basically went on strike, and they were fired for insubordination. 27 of them are on this bus. This bus came down empty. This lady here, she isn't associated with the farmer whatsoever. She's only met a few of these guys through kind of mutual friends, and she works for community, or she's a volunteer for community to community. So she's here. She's called advocacies and she's called news agencies and stuff like that because these guys are here. And she doesn't think it's fair or right.
This lady, she's
not
like
associated.
An advocate or
Yeah, she's basically a community advocate.
She just got on my bus. They're not.
Okay.
We need to call Team 2 or Team 1 and kind of get them involved because they're just following instructions. These guys have already been.
So what's the reason for them not getting off then?
She won't let them off.
The reason why
she's telling them not to get off because the farm feels no obligation to set up transportation for them to get back to Mexico. They're all Mexican nationalists that were contracted to come up here to work on the farm, and because of what happened yesterday, they're like, we're done with you guys, go home.
Yeah.
Right, and they are
fired
all
them.
contracted
But because they have no place to go.
I feel almost not that I don't think they would do anything to us because they've been very, very respectful.
So she's kind of inciting them to
stay on the bus, and then from what I understand is there's somebody from Mount Vernon talk to them on the phone. Yes, it is, yes. And instructed them not to get on the bus because I pulled up here and I'm like, okay, you guys, and then she got on the bus and she goes, these people are not getting on the bus. And I'm like, oh, sorry. Sorry.
Oh, I'm just going to go back.
Maybe I could pull the bus into there.
We're not going to.
We're not going to
work around us. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, to give you the rundown that he just gave me, is that there were 67, sounds like, people that were contracted, Mexican nationalists that were contracted to work up there. In the farm, Blue River. Apparently yesterday they kind of did like a protest, refused to work or something, so they fired them. And the company contracted with these ladies, this bus company, to give them a ride down here. I'm assuming here, so they can get on the Greyhound and get where they need to go. There's like 26 on this bus here, and apparently this lady, maybe in the green, is some kind of like community person, and she's telling them not to get off because she feels that since the company got them up here, and then since they're going to fire them, that they should get them somewhere, transport them somewhere else other than just here, and then say you're
on your own. Right.
So I don't know how much of these people are really into it themselves, as much as like her kind of pushing the issue. But that's where we're at. So these people are refusing to get off this lady's bus, And she's kind of the one, the activist, I guess maybe you'd say, that's rallying them up to not.
Right.
Yeah, you're just,
Well, not even to and from work.
Yeah.
We're just work wherever they live. We just take them
So
in,
it's,
pass
in a way, it's
checks,
kind of
and we run them
to me
into
it seems like
Walmart
a
and
county
we
issue that's now turned into ours.
whatever they need, and we take them back.
we go back and forth all day long.
Huh.
Well, we started this morning at 6
Yeah,
a.m.
it's,
taking them to Gloria's to get whoever got on the bus until a certain time to get their checks cashed. Yeah, no, the one in Everson. So this is what we do usually Saturday mornings is we take them to get their checks cashed. And then when we came back, we were unaware of this situation until after we got back and they had a big meeting and then we were like in the common area and we were told just to wait because they need transportation to here. And so then that's when they said go and take it to the Greyhound down here. Whoever, if it was all 60 of them.
They all didn't come in until sometimes. They all had an opportunity. We did it for almost 4 hours.
Yeah.
Taking them back and
You were
forth.
told to take them to La Gloria to cash their checks. Some of them took the opportunity.
Right, and
so
some
others
of did not. Right. Right.
And at the time they wanted to take the opportunity, I guess.
Yeah, I had some on my bus, and they go, no, it's a cutoff because they had a meeting. They were supposed to have a meeting, so.
But that transportation to and from La Gloria to cash, that was about 4 hours of your day.
Correct.
And then after that was the meeting. These are no longer La Gloria here.
Yeah, something to that effect, and then.
I think some went to go work, others went to the common area, and then they talked about the incident that happened, the rules that were in the contract that they all signed.
Which one are you?
This one right there.
I think if you go straight.
My car, I might.
I can get around you.
Oh, is it this one right here?
No, this one.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
or we can spot you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just they went over the contract. They were saying what was stated in the contract. If you had insubordination, it was an immediate termination, and you were to pack your bags and leave the premises, and
They
that's
had
what
an
they did.
hour. I think they had an hour to get all their stuff and get off the premises.
And then
And
brought
we
'em in.
waited, and then they checked everybody off that got on the bus. And then I was instructed, my one instruction was just take them down and drop them off. Otherwise, if they created any problems, I'm to just pull over on the side, stop the bus if I felt that I was threatened or if they were doing anything threatening, and just take my keys and get out and call 911. But they weren't at all disgruntled or anything. They were fine.
And this was the ending point of where you're
This
supposed
is
to
where
drop them
I
off?
was coming here.
Just so
I was
they
like,
can get on Greyhound or something?
Yeah.
Greyhound.
Yeah, and then
So
this lady
it sounds
came.
like they were given, the beginning part of the day was 4 hours of trekking people back and forth to La Gloria's to give them the
checks.
opportunity to cash checks. Not everybody did. So then after that was done, meeting about yesterday's incident, and no, you're no longer employed here.
They signed
And you,
papers.
they signed papers agreeing to the termination,
Right.
or that they understood, or
Right. Yeah, they had
Translated.
they
Everything was
speak Spanish,
translated.
and I don't know if these were higher ups that came in or what, because I've never seen them before. So and then we were instructed to do what we did. So, and then this. So.
and how did she know to come here?
I don't know. That's what I don't know.
I'm
she
gonna
already
assume
here when you
maybe
got here?
somebody
She was she parked there, and I go, okay, you guys.
So she was
she
waiting.
gets on, I go open the door,
I don't
and
know.
then
I'm
I
only
was
out there
up,
2 days a week.
I got you.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to
Javier-
wait till we were done
and
here before I
Javier-
went and talked to that lady. So I wasn't just trying to stick you with all the contact, but I figured we wanted all the picture here before we
Yeah.
talked to
And
her.
then Javier is our boss that she's talking to, that we communicate with.
Javier is about what's the phone number for Javier?
still on the board. This is not hard. So if they get the rates, definitely.
Every right that they have, they want. Nothing will take that away. If that makes sense. Every right you have as a person, as a human being, you always have. No matter what. What you have is choices. Do I enforce my will, or have my will, or have someone else's will enforced on you? All that kind of stuff. Those are different choices. So every right that these guys are going to have, they're going to have no matter what. So if they get off the bus, if they stay on the bus, what staying on the bus does is it helps draw attention. That'll help. Protests out at the farm, that'll help draw attention. Those things are just attention. It doesn't change anything. Well, no, actually, attention doesn't change. When people are aware of a problem, it's solved. So those kind of things, that can help. Where we're at is our job is only law.
I don't understand.
Civil rights and all those kind of things, we're out here to protect, make sure everyone's civil rights are protected, make sure everyone's, the laws are protected, all that kind of stuff. So that's our only job. As far as the political parts of it, the who's in the right, who's in the wrong, we always to decide that.
It is
We can't
definitely, yeah.
decide that. We only pass information. So, and I can't tell you how to protest or how to bring attention to a problem, because that's not my job. I'd get in trouble if I do try to do that. So, because I have to keep personal opinions completely out of it. So, where I can absolutely 100% believe every person has to have their civil rights protected. That we can completely 100% agree on. How to get about it, personally, and from a legal standpoint, I never like the law broken to protest. There's so many good ways to protest. We protect protesters. We get assigned to protect protesters all the time. Hey, they're doing a march, they're doing this, and we protect to make sure people can do it.
Estoy hablando con el policía, espérame, ahí quédate. Estoy aquí en la estación de bus, pero estoy hablando con el policía. Ok. ¿Qué está pasando allá? ¿Y qué hacemos con estos muchachos? Aquí está el bus. Aquí está el bus en la estación de buses. Pero aquí están los policías. Hay 3 policías aquí que mandaron traer. Ahorita voy a hablar con la señora. Okay. What can we do? Espérame, Fabi.
And that is a great question. So, he might have he's been working on trying to find some way to help you guys.
Well, I have the name of the manager that runs, basically is a company that runs 27 farms. So I have the phone number for him. I haven't called him yet, but I can. What I was told is that these ladies, their contract is just run the workers to and from stores, to and from places to get checks. The first 4 hours of their day was spent running them to and from a place where they can cash their checks. Not everybody chose to cash their checks. Some chose not to cash their checks. Why they made that decision, I don't know. But they were 4 hours of their day was spent doing that. The incident that caused them to be terminated, whatever that incident was, that's on the business, right? The business is allowed to terminate somebody from what they're saying is insubordinate. Okay?
And what?
Insubordinate, because they basically went on strike. So that happens, right? That's how businesses work. Okay? So it's not like they were just terminated for doing poor work. There was something that occurred that these gentlemen and the workers decided that they were going to stand up for themselves, and the business said, nope, we're going to move on from that. Okay? So their instructions were to bring him here put them on the Greyhound, and then from there they can figure out transportation. They weren't bringing them down here and just dropping them off. There were instructions for them, and they signed, from what I was told, is they signed documents saying that they understood what had occurred out on the farm. I haven't seen any of that.
Yeah, I
okay?
understand.
And these ladies, they're doing what they're told too.
Okay. First of all, I don't really know how to read that good. They just gave me some documents right now. They told me that's what they signed. And according to them, they said that they signed a paper saying that they were going to send their check that was left here to Mexico. That's what they signed. These people are such, I don't know, that they make you sign something else that it's not even that. And not all of them signed it. Because there's some of them that told me that they didn't sign anything.
Normal business practices are that too, is if you're terminated, your last check comes in the mail. They don't pay you on the spot.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
normal business practices too.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, so that's what these gentlemen
But they
were
said
told.
that's what they signed. A paper saying that well, yeah, because they had already kicked them out.
Okay.
So that's what they signed, a paper saying that they were going to send them their last check to
Okay, so
Mexico.
not knowing the farm or how they run business, that sounds like normal business practices to me.
So were they supposed to pay for the Greyhound buses?
Their first 4 hours of the day was driving them to and from.
¿Quiénes son los que traen
Laborious
cheques
to cash
aquí?
their checks.
So they'd have the money to
Okay.
get
their
Que dicen las señoras que ellas tuvieron
Some
4 horas
shows
para
not.
llevarlos a cambiar el cheque y ustedes no lo quisieron cambiar.
were terminated. They only have 27 that were on this bus. This bus came in empty just to make sure that there were 2 drivers. And then the other 33 that were terminated left
¿Quién fue el
with
que estuvo en
friends
huelga
or
ayer?
foot or something like that.
Por eso los corrieron.
One thing I suggested is maybe calling the manager and just saying, hey,
Okay.
because it's Saturday, not knowing the bus, not everybody having cash, and they temporarily go back to live in the housing on the farm until they
¿Qué quiere decir eso? ¿Que nadie sabe qué quiere decir eso?
have the opportunity to cash checks.
Sí, yo sé, yo hablé con ellos en la mañana. Y no le dan.
Yeah, why not?
Guess it'd be worth a try, though. I see them saying, "Hey, no,
Yeah, they signed paperwork.
we're done." Yeah. 'Cause
So what
now they're gonna have the issue
what
of
do you
them leaving,
guys
not leaving there or
Well,
something.
think I should do, or they should do, or what? Because
That's tough.
they
That's
don't want to
hard.
get off the bus because they don't have nowhere to go.
Well-
And they say about the checks, they just gave them the checks. These people didn't have a chance to go check because they just get them right now.
Yeah.
And
Well-
they told them that they needed to leave.
I would say one of a couple things. So one option is we could ask those people to just take you to where you can cash the checks, where you normally cash them. That's one thing we can do. Say, hey, can you just go take them to where they can cash their checks? So that way they get to choose what they want to do. They can
That's
stay.
what one of the ladies told the other one, and the other one said, nope,
Well, I
we
know,
can't.
but that's what the options I'm suggesting that we try and work with. So, number one is try and have them go take everyone to where they can cash the checks, and then these guys choose what they want to do, whether they want to go back and protest, whether they want to, leave. They get to choose.
No, what they want to do is they want to go back to the camp and protest. They want to go back to the camp because there's other people over there waiting for them.
Right, and then that's
And if they don't have a right to come back
And
over
that's-
here, well,
and
we'll
that's totally-
find how to bring them over here.
and that's totally okay. They can go protest. I mean, that's part of the U.S. is you get to protest. So we could say, hey, can you
¿Qué
take?
es lo que quieren hacer?
I highly doubt with that in mind that they're gonna transport them up there back to the place to
Not to the.
protest.
I'm talking to go get their
So
checks.
glorious.
So they can go get that. We're gonna ask. Right now, we're asking the company if they can take them back and let them stay there until they decide what to do. I doubt the company's gonna agree just because of this. Because once they've started to be defiant to the company, I doubt the company's going to take them back. We're going to ask, but I don't think that's going to work because they've already been
Okay.
defiant. And then,
Well, I believe there's somebody that has to hear them what they have to say.
well, absolutely. And I mean,
Because they had their reason of what they did. I mean, I understand probably it's none of your guys' business, as you could tell me it's none of my business, right? I understand you.
well,
But the reason that they did this is because of the guy that I told you that he's over there. The only thing they started saying, why did you guys did this to him? You know, he has 3 kids. Come on. what would happen, you know, and I wouldn't like that situation to be
And,
in,
and we're
in
not
my
even,
place.
we're not arguing anything.
And that's the reason they started saying that they weren't going to work that day, because they don't even have them a permit to work.
Yeah.
They brought them from California when the permit was expired. They brought them here. They were going to give them their permits that day that they got here, and they never gave them anything.
Yeah. Well, like I say,
And
I
they
mean,
said, if you don't give us a permit to work,
I-
we're not going to work.
I get all that, you know, and all that is valid things. So what I don't know what organization you work with, but I know there's because, you know, I don't know who all has enough money to pay for a lawyer, but I know we have some free lawyer that work in town, and they work on things like this, they work on housing issues, all those kind of things. I know if this was me, because I always try and give advice how I give a family. So if I was in your guys' shoes, what I would do is I'd go talk to these legal counselors and find out what can we do. So that's what I would do.
Well, there's people already talking to them over there.
Okay, well,
And they were coming over here, but they decided to go over there because they're kicking more people out.
right. So
I mean-
what I'm saying is this. So here, there's a chance people could get arrested. Okay, and that does no one any good, because once they get in custody, then
It's worse.
it's worse, and they're going to get rides to other places against their will. So if they want to stay and be able to protest effectively and let their story be told and heard, they're going to have to be here, and they can't be shipped off anywhere through the jail system, because usually what the jail system does is takes people to where their home is, kind of thing. So we're at that point where we're trying to figure out, how do we help them?
Exactly.
How do we help them, because we have to help both? How do we give the best solution for everyone? And my personal opinion is you guys should go seek legal counsel. Get all these guys, go down and talk to the free counseling services that we have downtown. Let me see. Do you have your...
Well, I understand
For fun?
that, but how are we supposed to take all these people back? I mean, I have a Nissan Quest. I got my van. How am I going to put all these people in my van?
Well, that's why I say go to talk to the legal services, because those are just right downtown. And let me see if I can see if they're working today. I think it's Evergreen. Evergreen.
Got me.
Legal?
¿Qué pasó? No, pues estar hablando aquí, que yo no sé, el otro policía está hablando con Javier, que le dieron el número de Javier. Está hablando con Javier a ver qué es lo que se va a hacer.
Do we have anybody that speaks Spanish that's working
Okay,
right now? No?
so entonces vamos a que se bajen todos aquí, nos vamos a ir para, vamos a buscar cómo llevárnoslos o qué.
1620 Transit, 1620 Lions at 1620.
Yeah, they are stacked with people. Okay.
Excuse me.
Ma'am?
Should we see if anybody wants to get off on their own right now?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
I mean, you can.
Guys, don't mess with the bus stuff, okay? Not your bus, all right? Thank you. Is there anybody on the bus that wants to get off on their own right now? Okay.
¿Qué pasa? Muchachos, les tengo una cosa que me está diciendo la señora Fabiola. Para allá por donde está el campamento. Hay una señora que los está permitiendo que campen en su yarda para que protesten. Ocupan cobijas, ocupen lo que ocupen, comida, nosotros estamos dispuestos 100% a ayudarlos en lo que se pueda. Pero no sean gachos, no nos dejen colgando, porque estamos haciendo lo posible por ustedes. Aunque tengan que dormir, voy a conseguir carpas, lo que puedan conseguir, aunque se amontonen. Estamos subiendo todo en Facebook, en lo que sea, para que haya gente que nos ayude con cobijas, con comida, con todo lo que se pueda ayudar. Todo lo que si mi madre puede comer, la vamos a ayudar. Si estos desgraciados no los quieren regresar, vamos a hacer ahorita lo posible, porque es como dijo el policía, no queremos arrestar a nadie porque después no van a poder ni defenderse, porque quedan mal. Si al caso los sacan, ¿mande? ¿Aquí? Ok, aquí te esperamos. Entonces, ¿que se bajen o qué? O que se esperen hasta que lleguen. Ok, que se esperen hasta que lleguen porque se puede acercar y no traen, ya saben. Entonces voy a hablar como los chinos acá porque aquí está el chucho, pero que se esperen, ahorita va a venir ayuda para irnos todos en carros particulares. Nos los vamos a llevar para atrás, lo que podamos ayudarles, nos vamos a ayudar. Mande. Espérame. ¿Cómo? Yo puedo a venir con unos y me los llevo para la casa y ahí en la casa que pero nos esperamos hasta que vengan los otros o que se bajen o qué. Ok, le voy a decir que ya viene alguien por nosotros. La vocera. No sé por qué le hablaría a la jefa. No, pues que ellos no pueden hacer nada, pero que si se hace borlote y eso, que pueden terminar varias personas arrestadas, y entre esas personas se podría ser yo. No me dijo que yo, pero con mi bonito. No, ellas están paradas allá. Ellas no se meten para nada. Ellas dijeron que ellas nomás eran voceras. Deja decirle al policía. Excuse me. I don't know if I could ask, or if you guys could ask them. There's people coming here already with several vehicles, so we could get these people off the bus with their stuff and let them going.
Hey, Landry? Hey,
So what can we do?
apparently there's some people coming with some vehicles to pick these
There's
folks
several
up.
vehicles coming already. We
Okay.
need to get these people out of here because we're just going through so much drama, and it's so
Well, I have a
embarrassing.
solution to
Okay, tell me.
possible solution. I've talked to their main boss, who said he would give the drivers permission to drive them back to one of the cash checking places, so at least they can cash their checks.
Great.
then they can decide whether or not they want to get on the bus to start heading home, or if they want to get some sort of lodging to stay local. The documents they signed today was the acknowledgement that they did not follow the contract that they initially signed, and it has their most accurate address for their last paycheck to be mailed to.
So it's for the check and that because they didn't follow the contract they
Because
had.
they did not follow the contract they initially signed with their work.
Muchachos, el papel que firmaron.
So it sounds like we could probably get off unless they all want to do
Señor de
that
los
drive around
cielos.
thing, which I don't know if these ladies are going to want to do now.
Well, their boss
Era
is
que ella se
telling
les iba a entregar su último cheque para que se los mandaran para la dirección que dejaron y que firmaron el papel donde decía que ustedes fueron los que quebraron el contrato de trabajo. Que porque ustedes manden. Okay, it would be. Oh, we left.
So it's okay. So
They were saying, yeah, okay, we understand
so
that.
they can
Pero es
do
que a
that.
los policías no les puedo decir eso porque ellos dicen que ellos no saben nada de lo que está pasando ahí, que ellos no tienen nada confirmado. Entonces eso lo puede pelear uno con un abogado. Que ese contrato que ese papel que firmaron ustedes era también de un contrato que ustedes quebraron.
Ma'am.
Que si
So is that a possibility? Is everybody in agreement if that is a possibility for them to get transported, to get
go
their
back to
paychecks,
Anderson?
wherever it is
Con
that
la
they
Gloria?
cash their checks? Are they willing to do that?
Ok, muchachos, nos sale mejor para que no venga la gente hasta acá por ustedes, ¿viste? Que las voceras habló con el Señor de los cielos y él dijo que lo puede llevar a ustedes a cambiar sus cheques. De ahí ustedes tienen la decisión de subirse al bus para que los traigan aquí a aventarlos o quedarse ahí y buscar su destino. Que su destino va a ser al campamento. Es donde los puede llevar uno. Ahí se va a juntar lo que se pueda juntar, casas de acampar, lo que se pueda juntar. Ahí se quedan en lo que luchan por lo que quieran luchar. ¿Qué dicen ustedes? ¿Se regresan a la tienda? ¿Nos salen más cerquitas para llevarnos y traernos para venir llevándolos a todos? ¿O qué es lo que pueden hacer? ¿Qué es lo que quieren hacer? ¿Qué hacemos, Fabi? Sí, que los lleven a la tienda de Everson y ahí bajan todos y ellos nos quedan más cerquitas a nosotros para llevarlos a todos. Ok, Fabi.
Instead of driving all 27 of them around.
Ok,
whoever's
ahorita ahí viene el
cashed their
policía.
checks, have them get on. Or
We
working
just
on-
canceled
we're-
it because you said that
okay,
we were going to Everson.
Okay, that's fine. How many have already cashed their checks? Has everybody not cashed their check, or how many?
They all have, they just given their checks, they all have their checks.
Okay, so nobody went and cashed their checks
No.
this morning. So all 20, everybody in this group has not.
Yeah.
So they'll take them up. They won't take them back to the camp, but they'll take them to there.
To Everson and La
and
Gloria.
then after they cash their check, they'll either take them back here or they can
That's what I
stay in
explained to them.
Everson. Okay,
That's
and
what
they're
I
all good with that.
Yes, they are.
¿Está bien?
Entonces, ¿está bien que los lleven para Everson a La Gloria?
Bueno, bueno.
Okay,
Gracias.
thank you.
Okay. How? You're over there? Okay. I'd suggest you pull forward and get in line then so you can get out of here.
Entonces ya la gente que no viene por aquí, si ustedes tenían varios carros, no van a venir aquí, van a ir a la calle y de ahí nos vemos en el campamento. Tenemos que movernos ahorita
because
they're done.
they have
They're
everything,
done.
their
They can
legal
go and do
standing.
whatever. Otherwise, we bring the rest of them back
We
to
had
the
a-
ferry.
What's that?
You're talking about bringing them back to the
So
ferry.
we go back to La Gloria. or
Only if they want to get back on the bus. So once they
And
cash the checks at wherever they're going,
She
she told them if they want to come back here to get a Greyhound, they can come back here to get a Greyhound. If they get their money and they want to do something else, then they can stay off the bus.
Put them in a position where
They choose to
it
go a different
screws
way,
something
basically.
up somehow, you know.
No, and
No.
so in theory, the
Yeah.
ones that get back on the bus will be the ones that want to come.
Okay,
So you shouldn't have any further problems.
okay. See how.
Are we good?
So far, I know she's talking to Javier
with
right
Javier
now.
right now just to
We're
confirm.
trying to figure out what exactly is to go down. I don't know if she's just going to have people meet us at the La Glorias and disperse them themselves. Or
Well, I'll let you know.
welfare check, 49 York Street, number 216.
Okay, we'll do. Thank you.
RPO is concerned about the old plow.
Okay, so
Usually see them in the
we
smoking
can go to
area.
La Gloria. We have to go to Everson now.
yeah,
That's
that's what I
set
thought.
up with them. We have to go to Everson.
Okay.
Let them cash their checks. I told them that the deal was if they want to get back on the bus, they are more than happy to get back on the bus, and we'll bring them back down here. If this is where they want to go. If not, they're done. They go home.
They can do whatever. they
Okay.
want. Okay, thank you.
Ustedes ya se tienen que ir, señora. Ahorita siéntense, por favor. Ahorita les voy a tomar sus tarjetas derivadas para mandárselas.
Pull 152, the area check for the welfare check. Yep, that Baker View. Baker View Northwest. Female came running out of the woods.
Ok, ándale pues, señora. Muchas gracias y espero su llamada. Bye bye. Okay. I'm sorry. They're just gonna go to Everson and do that.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're just gonna pass the way somewhere else or will they know we're gonna be heading over there.
Yeah,
I
they
just need to check.
So basically, here's the rundown. We're taking the La Glorias. They are going to cash their checks. At that point, if they want to take the Greyhound, they can get back on my bus and I'll bring them back down here. If not, they have to find their own way wherever they
Pull 15,
Okay?
welfare check, West Baker View
But I just
Northwest.
want to make sure that that's
Yes, that's the game plan.
that's the game plan. Everybody's on the same
Yes, it
page.
is. And they said they understood. I explained to them in time, and they said they understood everything.
He's running off into the
Right now, I'm just gonna head to get gas.
caller.
Well, it's going to take us a while to get everything.
Yes.
So.
All right.
Who had a cut on it.
Thank you very much.
Apartment.